Hey, you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Porn. That's right. Today we're talking about porn. Come on. Don't be shy. We all watch it. Men, women. I'm sure maybe even your pet goes online when you're not home and, looks up some weird feline fetishes. I don't know. Who knows? But we all do it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's all good. But why do we do it? Why do we watch porn? Well, speaking as a guy, let's just be honest. We pretty much have to. We're not all born Brad Pitt, George Clooney, or Morgan Freeman. We can't get any woman we want, so a lot of times we just have to fantasize about the woman that we can have. Maybe one day we'll have her. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll hit the lottery or somehow become famous, and maybe they'll be reminded of their stepfather and they'll look at us and go, hey, maybe I can relive something. I don't know. I'm just saying. Things happen. You never know. But porn is a great way just to get rid of your fears and ambitions. And no, you know what? That's bullshit. Listen, as guys, we get pretty horny sometimes, and a lot of times there's not always a girl around. Let's say if you're going out with a girl for a couple years, maybe you've done everything with her that you can, and you just want to try different things, but you can't really try different things. Maybe she's very shy and reserved, and maybe she's not down to do things that you've seen in porn. And then as guys, we're very disappointed that our girlfriend or wife or mistress won't do the things that we see girls do in porn. And that really fucks with our heads. And that's a big problem guys have. We watch a porn and then we're like, oh my God, she's gonna do this to us, and she's gonna dress up as this, and we're gonna reenact our biggest fantasies, and then it's a disappointment. We meet a woman, and you know what? She turns out to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Normal. And then the date just continues as another date. Have some coffee, have some dinner, have a few good laughs, and that's it. Guys, we got to get out there more. We really do. Don't get me wrong. Porn is a good stress reliever, for sure. We all know that. Whack off, do the 5 knuckle shuffle, play a little pocket pool, and, it just relieves a lot of stress. That's cool. But, to think that we're going to go out with a woman the first time and she's going to do all this weird and cool shit to us is just nothing but a fantasy. It really is. I have never delivered a pizza to a woman with a hole in the middle of it, and it's ended with me having sex with her ever. First of all, first of all, I've never delivered pizza, and even if I did, it'd probably be a disaster anyway. I'm a big guy. It probably wouldn't even make it to the door. I'm stuttering just thinking about the pizza. The point is, these are nothing but fantasies, and it's just not going to happen. So we're just going to have to sit there by ourselves when we're watching our favorite porn from back in the day, because every guy's got their own little classic visual from back in the day, some kind of video that we saw when we were a kid, or some moment in our lives, and we keep replaying this again and again and again in our head, and we're like, okay, one day it's gonna happen. One day, we're gonna meet a girl, and our head's just gonna explode, and the one between our shoulders is gonna be really amazed, and it just never happens. It never happens. I mean, it could, and that's what we keep hoping for. Because porn is just nothing but a fantasy. And you got to think of the women that are in these movies. They are, I'm sure they got feelings, don't get me wrong. I'm sure a lot of them are really mixed up feelings, but, they do have feelings. I mean, this is an actual profession for them. These are people that go in there, they have a job to do, in some cases many jobs to do, and they're just getting a paycheck like everybody else, except they have to lie down for a longer period of time, but hey, that's just life. There's all these like different genres of porn too, like MILF porn. I mean the term MILF, I mean, if you guys don't know by now, it came from the movie American Pie, Mom, I like to fuck. It just rolls off the tongue, right? I mean, it's just a work of art, It's one of those great sayings like, I'll be back, it just never gets old. But that's a big genre. My dad's stepmom, she'll come in the room, and she's experienced the older version of you, and maybe one day she'll experience the newer version, which is you, and this is all just fantasies, man. I mean, this isn't real life. I mean, it's cool to watch, but I mean, this isn't real. I mean, again, it could be. It could be if you're really successful and a really cool actor, it could happen. It very well could happen. But porn is nothing but a fantasy. But it's a fantasy that needs to be itched. A lot of women watch porn. That to this day still surprises me. But hey, everyone's got to get off, right? Exactly. It's this magical world of online. People can just search for whatever fantasy you want and have your perverted heads filled with beautiful desire. Oh, what a magical world. What a magical world where a woman could have sex with a horse, and somehow some sick perverted freak out there gets off on it. I mean, just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. But again, it's just a fantasy. I mean, porn is a billion-dollar industry. I heard at one point when they were converting, HD DVDs, whatever, compared to Blu-ray, porn was the deciding factor because it was such a big industry that they were trying to decide, okay, what would make more money, and they decided with Blu-ray. And porn was one of those things that kind of fed the appetite, I guess, for better quality. I guess people want to see vaginas in 1080p quality. So, good for you guys. Good for you. And porn is pretty much in everything now. The thing I don't understand is, I mean, back in the day, like I remember, like I'm a kid of the '90s, so I mean, one of the first big porns that came out, like celebrity porns, was, of course, the Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee porn, which was pretty crazy. I didn't know a white guy could have three arms. He was driving with it. It was pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Another proud moment for the Greek culture. But yeah, I mean, people knew Pamela Anderson from Baywatch, and that pretty much elevated her career to even more. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. People, would just want to see something really cool. The first time on the internet, like when the internet was really starting to really explode in the mid '90s, and yeah, I'm sure a company like Kleenex has definitely cleaned up. I mean, I don't know. Kleenex should just merge with YouPorn at this point. I mean, they're just making a monopoly. But I mean, porn will always be out there. I mean, Paris Hilton made that porn, elevated her career. Kim Kardashian basically made a career off it. And then you have women like Jenna Jameson, they do porn, and I don't know, you never make that jump into acting. So I don't know, go figure. But yeah, maybe you got to be famous first, sorta, and then do something on camera, and then later on you get to be famous. I don't know. I don't understand it. I really don't. So I don't know. I mean, I always considered the world of porn to be cool. I mean, I come from a culture where they show tits in commercials, so I don't understand what the big deal is. I really don't. I mean, it's the human body. You want to enjoy it, cool, go for it. So it's all good to me. But I'll tell you one thing. A lot of the people that are involved in porn, I do feel sorry for. And a lot of people don't take that into consideration. I don't think personally. I'm sure they're tested, a lot of times, because obviously, nobody wants to get sick and die, from AIDS or any other viruses. But yeah, it's a pretty risky business. I think I heard in California now, when they tape porn, you have to have a condom on. Now, to me, I mean, obviously, okay, safe sex, I'm all for that, blah blah blah. But doesn't it kind of kill the fantasy? I mean, like, you even were watching like a sex scene in movies today, which is something you don't really see anyway. But I remember in the '90s, I used to see that shit all the time. Now it's nobody gets naked anymore. I don't know. You're seeing more dicks and Forgetting Sarah Marshall now than you are tits. But anyways, doesn't it kind of kill the fantasy? I mean, imagine if you're seeing a movie from, I don't know, the '80s or '90s, and then all of a sudden, they go, oh, okay, wait, guys, oh, wait, excuse me, ma'am, I have to put on this condom before I make sweet, sweet love to you. So I don't know. I mean, better to be safe than sorry, I guess. But me personally, I think it kind of kills the fantasy. But be safe. Like Van Wilder says, don't be a fool. Wrap your tool. Yeah, so porn. I mean, wow. It really is a great way to spend a day where, the girlfriend's out or the wife is busy and you just want to relieve some stress. It's always there. It's pretty much everywhere. As long as you have an internet connection or a phone, yeah, it's always there. Going back to what I was saying before. Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we'll just call it Earth, I once went out on a date with a porn star. That's right. And I can honestly say it was probably one of the most screwed up dates I ever experienced. So I'll give you a little backstory. Met this woman at a bar. It's very nice, you know. She'd always come in by herself, a lone female wolf, I guess. I don't know. She'd always come in there, very friendly with everyone, saw me there, started talking a little bit, you know. And, at one point we're just talking about sex, like normal adults do. And, she goes, well, you know what I do, right? I'm like, well, you're at a bar drinking. You work on Wall Street. You're funny. I'm like, I know. Well, looks like this. I have to be. But anyways, yeah. So I'm like, okay. So what do you do? She's like, I do porn. I'm like, okay. I was waiting for the punchline, But yeah, she's like, no, really, I do porn. Now, keep in mind, this is at the time she was drinking a Budweiser beer bottle, and she told me she did porn, and like a great magic trick. I don't know if Houdini ever did this, but she basically took at least, I'd say, 3/4 of the bottle in her mouth. And afterwards, she just, kind of shook her head up and down, very proudly saying, yeah, I can do that. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And she also whispered something in my ear, which, what did she say? That's none of your business. The point is, after she started and stopped nibbling on my ear, we talked a little bit more, and I was more fascinated by this, great career opportunity. And she told me, yeah, I worked at a department store. Let's just call it Doll Mart. And she was working in the bicycle section, and all of a sudden this person just came up to her and said, hey, how are you? I'm assuming he had a very creepy voice. That's why I'm just doing this, because I'm assuming that's how these creeps abduct these women. Hey, how are you doing? And she's like, fine, how are you? How can I help you today, sir? Well, you look really pretty there. I was just wondering, have you ever done any modeling? Oh, no, I've never done any modeling. Well, you should, I mean, you should be in videos, and I could really help you with that. Wow, that's really cool. That sounds great. Oh, all right. That's here, right? Yeah. Well, here's my card, and if you're ever interested, give me a call. Yeah, I'm a creep. And yeah, that's pretty much she got discovered. So every time I look at a bicycle, I think of that story for some reason. And yeah, so about a month goes by, and I had nothing else to do one Saturday night, and I'm like, all right, I'll just give her a call, see if she wants to go out. Like, I'm in the area, let's go on a date. Why not? So she's like, all right, cool, meet me here. We walk to a local bar in her area. She looks really nice. Best way I could describe her, everyone's probably wondering how she looked like. Was she hot? Was she not? She was actually really beautiful. Very nice. She had cat's eyes, kind of like Olivia Wilde, how she's got like kind of the, very sexy, sharp eyes. Everything else, she was pretty fit actually, a little, not very muscular, but you could tell she like worked out, she had like decent, not like a six pack or anything, but decent abs, a little bit of muscle. No fake boobs. Her boobs are real, not that big, probably maybe big B's. But speaking of big B's, she had a phenomenal ass. I'm not gonna lie, very, as the rappers would call it, a bubble butt. It's very nice, actually, very nice. As a Greek and Italian man, I definitely approve. So yeah, she's very beautiful, and we're just sitting at the bar, having some drinks, and I'm like, all right, tell me your story. I'm dying to know how you got into your industry. She's like, all right, and she like again, told me that story there, about the beautiful interview at the bike rack, and this is pretty much where the date went downhill, where she was just telling me her whole story and her whole persona of her life. I mean, it got really dark. I mean, she would tell me things about her mom that were really just disturbing. She told me about her dad who weighed like 500 pounds and was just like a really big guy who just like disrespected her and didn't give a shit about her. And at one point she had like a heroin problem, and she had to be committed because she was just really really insane. At one point she was like strapped to a bed, and she showed me scars on her wrists, and she told me a story how she worked at a fast food restaurant and some person pissed her off, and she picked up the whole thing of oil and just spilled it all over somebody. And and she's just going on and on and on. And people that know me, it doesn't. It takes a lot to offend me, but I'm just listening to this, boom, 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 and I'm just sitting there like an O face, just like holy shit, this is crazy, you know. I mean, before I'm thinking to myself, like, even if this date goes well, I mean, like, is it possible to wear like three condoms with still without my dick falling off? Like, I don't know. I was thinking like best case scenario, but then as she just kept talking, I'm thinking like that, man, this is fucking crazy. And at one point, she's like, yeah, I just want to stay positive, and that's why I watch nothing but Disney movies, because I just want to be happy. I just want to be glad and happy, and I'm still sitting there with an O face. And then at one point, I think on some psychological level, like, I think maybe it brought up a lot of bad shit. And then at one point, she's just like, okay, I'm going to get up and just go over there and dance and sing. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. So then she walks over there and, starts singing and whatever. And I'm just sitting there, like, just by myself at the booth. And I'm just like, oh, man, this is this is fucking crazy. I mean, because because in your head, like as a guy, you wonder like how does a woman end up in porn? I mean, what kind of background does she have? I mean, is she fucked up? On some level, does she enjoy this? And I'm like, there's no fucking way like a normal woman could go into porn just because she likes porn. I mean, there's no way. Like, she had to have like some kind of just bad past, or maybe some guy abused her, and she's trying to, get back at her father, or, for all the misdoings. And it was just crazy, So I don't know. She gets back and she's singing and going on the bar, talking to, her friends, whatever. And I'm just like, all right, it's late. I gotta get going. I mean, it was like 2:30. She knew the owner or whatever, and I don't know, we could have stayed more. And I think we were just outside having a smoke, and I just told her, I said, listen, you're a nice girl, but I gotta go. I gotta go. And I remember, and she's like, well, why you gotta go? I'm like, no, listen, it's nothing against you. Just, it's late. I gotta go and whatever. And, now thinking back on it, maybe I didn't handle it right. Maybe I should have just said, maybe it's not working out, whatever. And, I felt bad. Like, I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable. I'm like, listen, it's cool, but it's late anyway. I just gotta get going. And like, even as I was like, walking away, like, she was like, stopping me. Like she went like in front of me, like with her arms out. She's like, no, 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 don't, no. I'm like, listen, it's nothing against you. It's cool. No worries. You know, it's cool. I'll talk to you tomorrow. It's all good. And she's like, all right. It's cool. I'll talk to you later. You know. I should mention that you know, because I did try to kiss her at one point, but this was like way before like she just like unloaded on me. And you know, actually what's funny too is she told me that when she's about to do a movie, she like can't have sex with anybody because you know, they get tested and they have to make sure that, you know, everything's clean and all that. And you know, I was like, okay, that makes sense, you know. But then later on, she told me that she knew one of my friends, and she went to his house, you know, and saw his house, and she didn't have sex with him. So I'm like, okay, so you went to his house, you didn't have sex with him, you didn't, yeah. So I there's a lot of like, you know, like my head was swimming at this point, whatever, man. So I'm just like, all right, whatever, you know. So then I go home, you know, and then I wake up the next day really early for some reason, you know, I guess, you know, from, you know, the nightmares of last night. And, you know, like I get a text at like 9 a.m., you know, just this angry text from her, like, oh, you son of a bitch, fucking, you know, you're stupid, you're fat, you're dumb, you're da da da. Like, she just totally went, you know, crazy Jekyll and Hyde on me. And I was like, I don't know where the fuck this is coming from. Like, you know, da 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 da. I'm like, this is crazy. You know, please don't contact me again. This is clearly this was not a good move. And you know, that's it. So, what was it? The worst experience? You know, it's up there. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, it does kind of make you wonder. I mean, porn. I mean, sorry, it really just makes you wonder. Like, what is the mentality of someone that does porn? You know, a lot of times as guys, we're just like, okay, you know, we just want to whack off and, you know, just come and, you know, just get on with the rest of our day. But I mean, if you really look deep into it, you gotta wonder, like, what is the mentality of some of these people that do porn, you know? And again, I'm not just trying to, you know, say anything bad about the women. I'm sure, you know, the guys in it too. I mean, they gotta be fucking nuts too, you know? I've heard a lot of the guys in porn, the majority of them are homosexuals. I mean, you know, a lot of times these guys can't get it up anyway. They got to take pills just to stay hard, and you know, just to perform on camera in front of people. And I don't know. I wouldn't want an audience watching me. You know, I mean, I don't know. I get nervous when I'm with the girl, but you know, like it's just it's a pretty crazy industry. I mean, I don't know how a lot of these people do it. You know, but I don't know. It's like anything else. Just you either got the mentality for it or you don't. And like I said before, it's a $1 billion industry, so they're clearly doing something right. The sexual appetite will always be there. I remember watching an old episode of Boardwalk Empire, and the show was based on, you know, the 20s there and late 30s later. And yeah, they were showing like an old porn on a projector. You know, I had no sound. You know, I think it was only like a couple minutes, whatever. You know, so you know, the desire of sex has always been there. I mean, look at me. You know, being Greek and Italian. I mean, our culture was basically built on sex. You know, nothing else to do back then. I don't know. We didn't have cell phones or Netflix, so you know, it's either just lay around in the sun or have sex with your best friend's wife. I mean, or sister or mother. I mean, again, there was nothing else to do back then. So it's just a matter of time before we start having sex with robots. Can you imagine that they're going to put like robots in porn? I'm sure it's probably a genre anyway. I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen it, but I probably will in the next couple of years. But yeah, I mean, like, when's it going to end? I mean, the possibilities in porn are just endless, you know? It's not real, though. I mean, that's one thing you always have to keep in mind, is that porn isn't real. If you're a guy, you just want to, quickly come, that's cool, but don't look at porn and think, okay, I'm going to have this one day, you know? I mean, listen, fingers crossed. I hope every guy out there gets to. But, realistically, chances are it's not going to happen. So, until we find that magic, very magical woman that will fulfill all of a man's desires, just always remember, worst case scenario, there's always porn.